So in this video, we're going to be going through page 35 of your SOL review packet, and we're going to start up top with number 15. And we've got that Stan is a graphic designer who works with fabric art. In one design, he is using two similar rectangles. So I went ahead and drew two similar rectangles after I noticed that the length of the larger one was 7 and its width was 3.5. So if this was 7, the height would be about half that because 3.5 is half. So you've got now your 7 by 5 or 7 by 3.5 rectangle. Okay. Now it tells us for the other one that the width is 1.25, and we're going to find the perimeter of this smaller rectangle. Now the first thing that we notice once again is that this height is half of this length. 3.5 is half of 7. So 1.25 is half of some number. So if we can take 3.25 and double it, so times 2 to get 7, just take 1.25 and double it and we get 2.5. So now we have the dimensions of the rectangle and we can just add up the four sides. So we've got 1.25 plus the 2.5. Now plus 1.25 plus 2.5 again. And we get C, 7.5. Be very careful not to pick A. A lot of people would not read this problem carefully and would just assume it's asking to find X and pick A. All right, so now for number 16. Mark has a rectangular garden that is 9 feet by 12 feet. Which of the following rectangles here would be similar? Now, with the 9 by 12, I know that it could be right here. It could be a 9 with a 12. But look at the answer choices and notice what they all have in common. This is taller, 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 taller. So that's why I drew this rectangle right here with the taller side this way. Okay, so there's the 12. Now what you can do is simply compare. And what I did, for example, for F is I took 11 and divided it by 8. And when you do 11 divided by 8, we get a 1.35. So now let's check to see what 12 divided by 9 is. We'd get a 1.33. So we know that they're not similar. Now let's do for G, we're looking for a 1.33. We're going to do 9 divided by 6. Nope. We're going to do 8 now divided by 6. There's the 1.33, so those figures are similar. All right, now for number 17, we're given that two parallelograms are similar. A corresponding pair of sides. So corresponding pair of sides here measures 60 by 4 is 60, and the other corresponding one here is 40. Now it goes on to tell us that another side of the smaller parallelogram, so now I'm on the smaller one is a 24. So I knew if this was a 24 that had to be the 40, which means this is the corresponding side that's a 60. Now it asks us what is the measure of the corresponding side of the larger parallelogram right here in blue that matches up with the 24. So for the proportion that I have shown, I have 60 matching with X, 60 over X, so red over blue, and then I have 40 with the 24. And when you cross multiply and divide, we're going to get D, 36. Just to make sure you're okay with this, we have 24 times 60 in the calculator. Now hit equals, and then you're going to divide by the 40, and you'll get 36. All right, now we're on to number 18. Now number 18, this one is a good question, but it's a little tough to kind of comprehend. The sides of two squares, so I've got two squares, and then it says that the sides of them have a ratio of 2 to 3. So 2, so these would all be 2s, and then these would all be 3s. Now, what it goes on to tell us, though, is that in the larger square, now instead of these being 3s, imagine that these were all 24s. It's asking what these would all be then if these were all turned into 24s. So if these 3s were all turned into 24s, this is getting 8 times bigger. So now this times 8, these would all be 16s in the bigger square that this one drew. Okay, that's how I'm getting H. Now I really like question 19 as well. It's just asking which proportion would allow us to find this longer side X. And I want to point out to you guys that basically all they're doing is taking this outer triangle. And if I take this and hit Control C and Control V, I've copied it. And now I can kind of shrink it down a little bit. And it's this one. So these are similar in the sense that we took the bigger triangle and we just reduced it. And instead of it being drawn off to the side, it's just kind of drawn within. So it's simply asking us now which proportion could we use to find that unknown side x. So for A, it's saying if you put 5, so it's saying take the shorter side and now compare it to this part. Now you've got 9, and it's saying x would be right here. That's what A is saying, so we're not going to pick A. All right? Now what the next one is saying is that if you take 15 with 5, so 15, notice it added the 5 and the 10 to get this 15. And if you say the 15, the outer measure compared to the 5, notice over here it's got the outer measure x compared to the 9, and that's what this one's saying, so this one is our right answer. Now for the last one, this one's very easy. Lucy has a rectangular board game that is 24 inches by 30 inches. Which one of these would be congruent, which basically means it's the exact same size and shape? Now at 24 by 30, we have two answer choices, 24 by 30 and 24 by 30. But J is in feet and G is in inches. So this is our answer. And that concludes the video on page 35. Thank you.